little mellow and got to get moving. My presentation is Planting in a Changing Climate, and I'm Julia Chambers, and I am co-founder and president of AFFEW Friends for the Environment of the World, that's based in Ludington area, Mason County. My background is I was a teacher, elementary education and art teacher for 26 years. I was a landscaper, I had my own landscaping business. I'm an environmental activist and a tree hugger. My nickname is Earth Muffin. And I'm a mom and a grandma. So we started AFFEW in 1990. A friend of mine, Kate Love, and myself were in our just talking, and my dad was diagnosed with lung cancer, and we had a mutual friend that had lymph node cancer, and so we were just having coffee at the kitchen table, and we decided we needed to do something. Ludington doesn't have any environmental groups. Back then they definitely did not, and now we're the only one. So we decided to have start an environmental group, and we wanted to work with everybody, industry, businesses, groups, government, schools. Instead of pointing fingers, we wanted to work together for solutions. So that's what we planned on doing, and our mission is right there. We nurture a healthy planet for all by creating experiences, and you can read the rest. I know it's kind of a weird name, AFFEW, my friend came up with that, the acronym, and it's like, AFFEW. But actually it turned out being a good name because it starts with an A, and so usually we're at the top of the list. Like we have a foundation endowment and a foundation fund, and we're right at the top of the list, so everybody sees that. So if you're ever gonna start a group, you might wanna think about A. So Janet talked about climate change, and Tanya and Riley and things like that, and we know it's happening. There's been so much, we have more intense heat. How many of you got a little hot this summer? It was, I was sweating up a storm. And I usually wear long johns all winter, so I did take them off for this summer. But and the storms, we saw some pictures of some storms. We've had some bad storms up in Ludington. We've had lots of drought. Michigan has been in a drought. We're always happy to see more rain lately. And the fires in California, the fires in Canada. I know we traveled up to Lake Superior, and we saw some of the smoke, and even in Ludington we had smoke coming right across near our area, and it's really hard if you have any asthma or lung problems. So I'm going to talk about planting, and these are hardiness zones, and the zones have definitely changed over the years. Like from the 1991, you can see the black at the top, and then at the 2015, the black is less. So the zones are moving up, so it's getting warmer as it gets closer to us. And also the frost time is less than it used to be. And in June 2025, it was the third warmest June in history, going back to 1850, and I got some information from the Yale Climate Connections also. I skipped a few things there, but that's okay. I saw someone mentioned a frost-free, 18 days has increased for the frost. And in Muskegon, your temperature change from 2012 to 2023 has increased 2 degrees. So when you're looking at planting, you want to look at these hardiness zones so you can figure out when to plant your veggies or your plant, any kind of plants, trees and whatnot. So, do any of you do any gardening here? Okay. And so I had a hard time this year with my tomatoes. It was just so hot that they didn't produce that much. They were spindly plants. And the cauliflower, radishes, and lettuce are all cool vegetables. They do better in cooler weather. What you can do is plant them earlier now, or plant them farther into the fall. And you can also order seeds from that would do well in drought or hotter conditions. There's quite a few catalogs or online companies that will have seeds for all kinds of weather. So you need to start looking at those for southern areas. You want to drip irrigation works better than just the irrigation right on top of the plants. There's less evaporation. You can use shade cloth to go over some of your plants. And then mulch also helps keep that moisture in, and it keeps it cooler. With the changing climate also, there's a concern about insect pests, so there's more and more pests. The bugs are hatching sooner, they lay eggs sooner, and winter isn't killing as many. I know I've noticed that I've had more ticks. Anybody ever had a tick bite? I know it's kind of off the subject, but yeah, I've had quite a few ticks embedded in me, so I always check that. Another way to attract good insects to your garden is to plant flowers by your garden. So these are all, right in the middle is the native plant planting, and the other ones are the pollinators, and we need the pollinators. They pollinate a third of our food. How many of you like chocolate? Oranges, blueberries, coffee? All these are needed. We need the pollinators. So when it's getting warmer, different species are coming, and they're waking up at different times. The insects that pollinate are coming too early or too late, so there's not as much food for them, so it's good to create a diverse garden. Oops, sorry. Sorry about that. And pollinator habitat depends on the pollinator and their life cycle. Like bees can use leaves, mud, sand, and even abandoned snail shells for their nests, and butterfly larvae need certain plants, so it's good to use those plants, plant those. And so I really, when I was doing landscaping, I really promoted native plants. And the big thing about native plants is they will thrive in the area that you plant them, and if it's really hot, they still will do well. If there's a lot of rain, you can see the roots on the one picture on the left, they go deeper. The roots go deeper, so they will go and get more water. And then if we have lots of rain, like in Muskegon or whatnot had, they will soak up that rain. So the native plants and the trees soak up that, and they're often resistant to disease and pests, and also plants always improve the air quality. You don't need fertilizer, and they attract the beneficial insects. And so you wonder where to purchase native plants. we have a native plant sale. Every year we have introduced 11,000 native plants into our area, in the Ludington area. There's a nursery up in Onekama, if you want to take a road trip, Black Cap Nursery. The soil conservation districts usually have native plant sales. Johnny Seeds, Baker Seed Company is good. You just have to look online or order their catalog. And so people usually want to know what they can do to prevent or slow down climate change and protect the earth, and this is what we like to do, is we like to educate people. So these are some of the things: composting your food and your yard waste. In the Project Drawdown book, I know Janet mentioned the Drawdown Explorer, the number, that Project Drawdown, the book has solutions of like 80 things that we can do. Some of it is government and researchers and whatnot, but food waste is one of the big ones we could do. We could compost, that would decrease our carbon footprint. Eating less meat, you know, you can, and beef is the worst. You can eat chicken, that's better. Plant native plants and trees, and leaving stalks and plant leaves. There's a lot of critters that live in the leaves and also in the stalks. I don't cut down any of my stalks until the spring. And don't use peat moss. Peat moss is not renewable enough. There's not that much of it. It can't produce enough. Don't use chemicals. Shrink your lawn if you have lots of lawn. You don't need to have it all lawn. Just have a little patch for your going out on your lawn with your bare feet or whatever. Watch your water. Conserve energy. Reduce. I always tell people to reduce first. You really need that. And reuse and recycle. And I kind of feel like I'm talking to the choir, but it's always good to remind people.